So Dru Tejada is one character who I think will take a dark turn this coming season, and I think he's just one powerful game-changing moment away from turning into an absolute demon, and I do think it could come in the form of Ev's death, just like we've seen in the Power universe for other characters. So I do expect him to go through some of the biggest changes in Season 2 of Power Book 2 Ghost, especially after he was shot towards the end of the first season. It's something that his character teased in a recent interview that we're going to see Dru going down this dark path. So what we witnessed with him wanting to draw and do art, live a normal life with Ev, it's all going to change in Season 2. So in this video, we're going to have a look at what we can expect from Dru Tejada this coming season. We're going to take a look at his character profile, some quotes from the actor himself, and what he wants from life, but how his destiny will force him down a different path. But of course, if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Book 2 Ghost and Power Universe related. Now Dru Tejada, he hasn't got a character description as such for Season 2 of Ghost, but in the synopsis it does say that Dru and Diana will start to question Monet's moves as she starts to grow more distracted, especially when Monet goes as far as trusting Cane again, despite his actions against the family. His Season 1 character description told us that he was an artist by day and an up-and-coming drug lord by night. Dru is from a drug family, but not of it. Having no desire to be in the game, Dru simply wants to draw, so when Tariq steps on the scene and exposes him to this college life that Monet's been keeping him from, Dru's more determined than ever to separate from what seems to be his destiny, and when he gets involved with a member of Zeke's basketball team, his quest for independence could yield a deadly consequence for those he loves most. And this is still important in the context of his character, because this will help us build the foundation for Dru and show us how he's going to change, especially from what we saw in Season 1. And we'll link both of these character descriptions throughout this video, and I'm going to paint the picture as to why Dru's destiny is the game, and why his character will become a lot more darker this coming season. But what did we see from Dru in Season 1? He was someone who definitely didn't want to be in the game, and they hinted at him being into art and drawing very early on when Zeke took Tariq home and introduced him to his family. We saw Dru with the pencil on his ear, drawing at the dinner table, and even questioning Tariq what kind of art when he mentioned that he's taken up an art class. And Lorenzo and Monet, they both have different visions and positions that they want Dru to play, which is one of their conflicts, as they both trying to set their leadership styles on the Tejada organization. Lorenzo wanted him to go and speak to Lil Guap and deal with him putting this flashy lifestyle on social media, which would have caused unwanted attention from law enforcement, which would have had a ripple effect on the Tejadas. Now Monet said that it needed to be Cane to deal with Lil Guap because he's the muscle to the Tejada organization, and she even questioned Diana about the positions that she has them all play and whether or not Dru was capable of handling the situation, which of course Monet didn't think so, which is why she sent Cane to watch over his brother. But aside from this, he found what he was looking for in Ev when he went to Stansfield to keep an eye on Tariq. But this right here, is it just a fantasy? Something that we've seen before with Ghost and Angela, and Lulu with his record label in Raising Canaan. We all know that this is a game, and you have to have your head on a constant swivel, and there are no days off, because one mistake, one slip up, can cost you your life, which almost happened with Dru when he made the mistake to get up when Rico were lighting their bar up. But now that he's taken a bullet, he has to deal with the recovery, mentally and physically. It's going to change him, and we're definitely going to see him going down this darker path across Season 2. But let's have a look at what Lovell Adams Gray said, because he did give a lot of insight into what we can expect from his character. He said that even though his mind is in art, he believes that you can leave the game and live a normal life. He's going to have to make some tough decisions about his priorities and where those lie, but his heart will never die with art and how he wants to express himself. But his relationship with Ev is going to start to get in the way of certain things, and he's going to have to make a lot of grown man decisions this season, and we're going to see some conflicts, and he's going to have to make some big boy decisions. And also, coming off after the first season where he got shot, he said that Dru is going to be reluctant to listen to someone who he feels is responsible for that happening, and he feels that from a leader, they should be protecting you from harm's way, and those leaders, they're making decisions for everyone's benefit, and he didn't feel protected. And now Dru is going to start to question everything. So those are some of the main talking points coming out of the few interviews that Lovell Adams Gray did, which I will leave the links to down below in the description, which has a lot more with Courtney Kemp and a lot of the other actors as well. But let's talk about what I think is going to be arguably the biggest storyline for Dru's character, and one of the game-changing moments for him, and that's his relationship with Ev, how it's going to start to get in the way of certain things, and he's going to have to make some grown man decisions with this. Ev's involved already. He saw what happened the night when Lil Guap came and attacked Zeke, and even then he changed his story when he was being questioned by Jabari, which was with the guidance of Carrie by the way. But him being killed would really be the final straw for Dru's character. As I mentioned early on in the video, Ev gives him this purpose and a fantasy of life that he could potentially live, a life that he wants. But is that all it is? Just a fantasy, just like it was for Ghost, and just like how I think it is for Lou as well. it brings me back to this character description that was given for season 1, and why I still think it's so important. It's because his true destiny is in the game, and that's because he was born into this family and a way of life that he just can't run from. No matter how much he tries to, something will always pull him back in. And if that one person who's Ev, who gives Dru this vision and way out of the game, if he's taken away from Dru, then what does he have left to live for? Does Lorenzo even know about his sexuality? Because he wants Dru to take over the family business, and he has this vision for him. Now it has to be said, even though he is gay, it doesn't necessarily mean that he won't be a great leader, more tactical, and more strategic. And the example that I want to give is DEFCON in Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, because he was the same. It was only revealed to Detective Howard that he was gay in episode 8, but he was still someone who ran the streets, and this is something similar to what Dru could be capable of, running the Tejada organization like Lorenzo wants him to, if Ev is killed, and if maybe Monet is distracted, and who knows, he may even have to make the decision himself whether or not Ev has to be killed, because he did tease that he has to make some big boy decisions this season, so let's see what these big boy decisions are. But what else is going to be a challenge for Dru this season, coming away from Ev, is his relationship with Monet and Cane, because he's going to start to question her decision making, especially when she lets Cane back in, because Dru got shot at the end of season 1, and he feels Cane and Monet, they should take some responsibility for what happened to him, because they're supposed to be there to protect him. And this is why he's going to be a bit more reluctant to take orders from maybe both of them, because Cane's gone against the family on more than one occasion, and Monet's not going to be making the best of decisions in season 2 either. So I think he's going to start to question Monet's leadership and decisions that she's making. And with this whole power struggle and Tejada split that's been teased, will this eventually lead Dru to taking Lorenzo's side, especially if maybe Monet has Ev killed or dealt with? Either way, I do think a powerful moment is going to come in season 2 for Dru's character, and this will definitely push Dru's character development even further. And this is actually going to help elevate the plot and storyline for not only his character, but for the Tejadas and for Power Book 2 Go Season 2 in general. So making his character a lot more darker as the season goes on will definitely help elevate the stakes, and there definitely will be consequences. And we don't actually know whether he's killed before, but we do know we haven't seen his first on-screen kill, at least, and maybe this is something we'll see this coming season. He's someone like Brayden, who I think we'll see the biggest change from as the series goes on, and how they'll both get darker as characters in their own ways. So that's the character breakdown on Dru Tejada, who I think we've only touched the surface on so far in Power Book 2 Ghost, and someone who has a lot more room for development. His relationship with Ev could be the game-changing moment, and he'll have some game-changing decisions to make as well. His issues with potentially a lack of trust with Monet, decision-making, and leadership will all come into play. So I definitely think he's going to take a dark turn, but let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. What's the game-changing moment for Dru, and could he even face a scenario where he's tasked to kill Ev himself? Drop all your thoughts and comments down below, and of course if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Book 2 Ghost and Power Universe related. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.